Up next, going 10th overall, is Ziaire Williams out of Stanford. Now, this is New Orleans' pick, but it will be traded to Memphis. So Ziaire Williams out of Stanford, 11 points per game, nearly 5 rebounds per game as a freshman for the Cardinal. Ziaire Williams was a guy that Matt Norlander was big on in the mock drafts, targeting him each and every week on the Ion College Basketball Podcast. So again, Ziaire Williams going 10th overall. Again, this will be heading to Memphis. All right, back here with Gary. And Gary, this is a kid you talked a lot about, as I mentioned, on the Ion College Basketball Podcast with Matt Norlander. Ziaire Williams, a kid from Stanford, headed to Memphis now in this proposed trade.
Yeah, I'm going to go A- here, and I know this is much higher than most people had Ziaire Williams going, but it completely falls in line with what the Grizzlies are trying to do. They know they've got a young star in Ja Morant. They think they've got another young star in Jaren Jackson Jr., and what they wanted to do is try to find a young prospect with incredible upside who can play in between them on the wing. And so the pick is Ziaire Williams. Now, I know he didn't have a great season in his 1 year at Stanford, but you know, it was an unusual situation that makes it easy to understand why things maybe didn't go smoothly. But don't ever forget this young man who was ranked 6th in the class of 2020, according to 24/7 Sports. So this is the big swing that the Grizzlies front office has insisted they want to take. They're not trying to finish 6th in the West in 3 years. They're trying to win it. And the best way to do it is to get 3 young stars who can grow together. Ziaire Williams, they're hoping, is going to be the third piece of that.
Yeah, EK, 19 years old is Ziaire Williams, now headed to the Memphis Grizzlies.
How's Ja Morant going to like having him on the team when he says, oh, we got the kid from Stanford coming in, Coach?
Well, I think Ja Morant's going to like this kid. You know, he's a 6'10 kid that has shot-making ability. When you look at Memphis, you know, they traded for Steven Adams. He's not really a shooter. So you got to have big guys that can make shots. They already have Jaren Jackson Jr., you know, who's underperformed a little bit in his young NBA season, so NBA career. So I just think this is a solid move in terms of having a big guy that can spread the floor. This kid, you know, struggled last year, but he was projected to go high in the draft. But because he struggled, a lot of folks had him going towards the tail end of the first round. So I just think for Memphis, who complements Ja Morant? This is all about Ja Morant. Who plays well with Ja Morant?
I agree. That's why I said, like, how's Ja Morant going to feel about the pick? It's his franchise. We got to get him some help, and we got him some size. That will certainly help. And this is a guy apparently got a lot of love in the Ion College Basketball Podcast, and so I need to know what you were saying about him.
Well, I just this goes back weeks, more than weeks, practically since the end of the season. I just happen to believe that we're going to look up in 6-7 years, and Ziaire Williams is going to prove to be one of the 7 or 8 best players in this NBA draft pool. He went higher than I anticipated. In my mock draft, I had him going high, top 8 range, but a month ago, that was not the case whatsoever. He was projected much more in like the 15 to 20 range. Potentially a nice little coup here for Memphis. Seems like a little bit of an outside-the-box pick, but quite clearly, when we consider the trade with New Orleans, the franchise pegged its player, and it knew that he'd be available in this spot here. It will be an interesting one. He'll adapt pretty well. One quick thing to know about Ziaire Williams, he went through a really rough season last season because Stanford, for more than half the season, didn't even play or live in its own county because of COVID restrictions. He had a death in the family. He never really got his college career going the way that it should. I really think in 2-3 years he could grow into a fantastic role player in the NBA.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.